Who is the winningest quarterback in Atlanta Falcons franchise history? The results might surprise you.
Bijan Robinson. Man, y'all better watch out. That was the right pick. Man, with Raheem Morris and all of our weapons, man, it's looking good. Oh, we got Kirk Cousins in the house. It's time to win.
Today, we're going to take a look at 6 successful quarterbacks in Atlanta Falcons franchise history. So why 6? Well, we're looking at the 6 quarterbacks who took us to the postseason. And so these are the most successful quarterbacks in franchise history. Now, let me give a disclaimer. We're not here in this series to talk about quarterback stats like completion percentage, or yards thrown, or number of touchdowns. That's not what this is about today. What we're looking at is how well did the team perform under your leadership? How many wins resulted from your presence on the field, your play on the field? Because after all, it's about winning, right? Another thing that we should keep in mind is, I want you to know that we're looking at games that the quarterback actually started and led the team. Not games where they were injured and on the sideline, not games where they were not starters and they came in for a few plays here and there. No, we're talking about games that they controlled. And so before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and hit that notification bell as well, so that you can stay up to date with what we're doing at the Checkdown. So who are the 6 quarterbacks that we're comparing? We're comparing Steve Bartkowski to Chris Miller, to Jeff George, to Chris Chandler, to Michael Vick, to Matt Ryan. Interesting. Let's see how these quarterbacks stack up against each other with respect to wins. Chris Miller was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in the first round. His record with the Atlanta Falcons is 23-43. So Chris Miller won 35% of his games. Steve Bartkowski was drafted number 1 overall by the Atlanta Falcons. In fact, Atlanta moved up from the number 3 spot to the number 1 spot to draft Steve Bartkowski. Steve Bartkowski's record with the Atlanta Falcons is 55-66. Bartkowski won 45% of his games. Jeff George was traded to the Atlanta Falcons from the Indianapolis Colts. His record with the Atlanta Falcons is 16-19. Jeff George won 46% of his games. Chris Chandler was traded to the Atlanta Falcons. Chris Chandler's record was 34-33 with the Atlanta Falcons. Chris Chandler won 51% of his games. Matt Ryan, the most celebrated Atlanta Falcons quarterback that we've had, has a record of 120-102. Matt Ryan won 54% of his games with the Atlanta Falcons. Last but not least, Michael Vick. Michael Vick was drafted number 1 overall by the Atlanta Falcons. And his record with the Atlanta Falcons is 38-28-1. Michael Vick won 57% of his games. So if we're talking about numbers, Michael Vick is the winningest quarterback in franchise history with a winning percentage of 57%. In fact, we've only had 3 quarterbacks with a winning percentage over 50. Chris Chandler at 51, Matt Ryan at 54, and Michael Vick at 57. And so, may not be what some of us want to hear, may be surprising for some of us, may not be surprising at all for others, but Michael Vick has a higher winning percentage than any other quarterback who's played for the franchise. Most people would say that Matt Ryan is the winningest quarterback in franchise history. And I mean, that's easy to assume. Matt Ryan won 120 games with the franchise. 120. No other quarterback in franchise history has won 100 games. No other quarterback in franchise history has won over 55 games. And so Matt Ryan with 120 wins, of course he's the winningest quarterback that we've had. Okay, but it's not that simple because math comparisons don't work like that. We have to look at your wins compared to your opportunity to win. And so Matt Ryan had a lot of opportunities to win. In fact, he had more opportunities than all of the quarterbacks that the Atlanta Falcons have trotted out as their starting quarterbacks. The closest person to Matt Ryan is Steve Bartkowski. But Steve Bartkowski played 121 games total. And so Steve Bartkowski would have had to go undefeated his whole career to have more wins than Matt Ryan. Okay, we know that's kind of crazy. So we're not going to even talk about that any longer. You know what's interesting is that when you look at Michael Vick's record, Michael Vick has only had one losing season during his career in Atlanta. Now, I'm not talking about the team. I'm not gonna count his rookie season against him. But I'm talking about specifically the games that he played. So let's take a look at it. Michael Vick, his rookie season was 1-1. That's right, 1-1. He only started 2 games. That was the game against the Dallas Cowboys, and that was the game against the Miami Dolphins. In 2002, his first year as the starter, he was 8-6-1. And that's the year that we went to the playoffs and we beat Green Bay in Green Bay, something that no other team had ever done. And Michael Vick was putting on a show. The next season, Michael Vick got hurt in the preseason. I think he broke his leg. And so he didn't even play until the end of 2003. But when he came in 2003, at the end of the season, he went 3-1. The next year, in 2004, after Michael Vick fully recovered and was ready to start the new season, the Falcons went 11-4. That's right, 11-4. And we went to the NFC Championship that year. We were a sneeze away from the Super Bowl. Now keep this in mind. This was really Michael Vick's second year leading the team as the starter. He only started 2 games his rookie season. He led the Falcons. His second season, went to the playoffs, beat Green Bay. His third season, he was hurt. He didn't play but 4 games. His next full season, NFC Championship game. People sleep on Michael Vick's impact on this team. In 2005, Michael Vick went 8-7, another winning season. And the only losing season that Michael Vick had was in 2006, where he went 7-9. Michael Vick is the winningest quarterback in Atlanta Falcons franchise history. He doesn't have as many wins as Matt Ryan. He doesn't have as many wins as Steve Bartkowski. But when you assess them accurately, based on how many games they played, compared to how many wins they had, compared to how many losses they had, Michael Vick clearly is the winningest quarterback that we've had in franchise history. Now, he didn't take us to the Super Bowl. And so you have to factor that in. And you also have to factor in, people say the best ability is availability. I get that too. And I don't disagree. And it was Michael Vick's decisions off the field that kept him from playing as many games as Matt Ryan or Steve Bartkowski. But if we separate that out and we just look at the player on the field, when they played, how the team performed, Michael Vick is the winningest quarterback in Atlanta Falcons history. Now, that may be hard for some of us to believe, but go check the numbers. Take a look at Pro Football Reference. They have all of the data that you want to see. And it's accurate. It's accurate because a lot of people think that Michael Vick started the last 8 games of his rookie season, and that didn't happen. I mean, he was really sharing time with Doug Johnson, but Chris Chandler came back and started those other games. He did. So check out Pro Football Reference. Also, you can go back and watch some of the old games because I know many people may disagree and agree with this perspective, but these are the numbers. And so thank you again for watching the Checkdown. Make sure before you go to hit that subscribe button, make sure you smash that like button, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with what we're doing. We're going to have more of these videos. The next video, we're going to look at playoff appearance percentage. We're also going to look at playoff win percentage. We're going to look at how long did it take our quarterbacks to get to the playoffs, to get their first playoff win, to make it to the NFC Championship game, and to make it to the Super Bowl. Until next time, peace.